Assalamu alaikum. How are you? So I've been hearing a lot of talks from congressmen in the U.S. about Sharia law. Let's ban Sharia law. We cannot have Sharia law in the U.S. Blah blah blah. Last time I checked, we don't have any Sharia uh, courts going on in the U.S. Neither that have I even heard of anyone trying to open a Sharia court. But maybe I don't know about it. I studied criminal justice. I've never heard of any Islamic rulings about anything other than, the assumption of innocence, that you're assumed innocence till proven guilty. That's actually comes from Islam. Marriage licenses, you need two witnesses. That comes from Islam. Many other laws like that actually comes from Islam, was taken from Islamic law. So a lot of Americans, when I ask them, do you know what Sharia is? They have no idea. And that was done on purpose, because when I thought about it, Sharia is an Arabic word, and it has a meaning. It's not a name, so you can easily translate it, right? Sharia has many meanings, but in a religious context, it means law or legislation. So when you say Sharia law, what you're really saying is law, which makes no sense and really sounds ridiculous to any Arab like myself. My first language is Arabic. So I'm going to tell you what Sharia is. So Sharia means law. So it should be translated to Islamic law or Islamic Sharia. As it's in Arabic is Sharia al-Islamiyya, which is a topic. So to prove to you that the people that speak about Sharia, especially in Congress, they don't know what it is. For example, my Islamic teacher, in Islamic studies, he studied the topic of Sharia for 4 years in an Islamic university in Cairo, in Egypt. Then he had 3 years of master degree. Then he had another 2 years of PhD. So he studied 9 years of Sharia, Islamic law. 9 years. And you know what he calls himself? He calls himself a student of the religion. He doesn't call himself a scholar. Even though he could be, but he's humble and he calls himself a student, and he studied Sharia for 9 years. So when people say Sharia this, Sharia that, it's not as just simple as they put it out. Sharia is just one major of many majors that you can study in Islam. For example, you can study something called fiqh, which is jurisprudence. You can study the life of the Prophet. You can study how the science of preserving the narrations of the Prophet. There's something called ilm al-rijal, the science of men. All the men that narrated the narrations of the Prophet, you can learn about them. It's a whole science, volumes and volumes and volumes of books. So, like I said, the question is, when I think about when I first time heard Sharia on the news, was a long time ago, before internet, not before internet, maybe before Google, before you can just easily put a word on Google. So when you think about it, before Google, if you were to look up the word Sharia, it's not an English word. So if you go to an English dictionary, you type Sharia or you look it up in a dictionary book, you won't find it. So you have to know somebody who actually speaks Arabic, or you have to know that's actually an Arabic word first of all to even translate it. So now you need someone to translate it for you in an Arabic that knows how to write Arabic to translate it. So they put it out just propaganda to just brainwash you, because back in the day you wouldn't even know how to translate Sharia law. You wouldn't even know. But now it's easy because we have Google, we have internet. You can easily translate it. You can just type Sharia and it'll actually come up. But before, they know Americans, they were not gonna search it. They're just gonna think it's something bad because they put it in bad context. So they just think it's just something evil. Sharia law. Oh wow, they're coming for us. But it literally means law. And every religion came from God, had laws, like the Jewish laws. They follow laws, right? They don't eat certain things. They pray a certain way. They don't do certain things, and these are laws. These are basically what it is. So So like I said, the reason didn't tell you the meaning. Like for example, another word that I heard on CNN a long time ago when I was like little is the word madrasa. So some guy in Afghanistan, they were saying like, oh, he went to madrasa in Afghanistan and he's blah blah blah. They make it seem like that he went to like some crazy camp where you like learn how to blow up yourself or something. Madrasa literally means school. So they're saying he went to school, but if you don't know what madrasa means, so that's why they're like, it has a meaning. It's not a name, so why don't they translate it, right? If they want you to understand what it is, they would just translate it. They would tell you Islamic law. We don't want Islamic law in the U.S. Fair, that's fine. You don't have to say Sharia law because it doesn't make any sense. You're saying law. For example, you want to say this guy went to school, just say he went to school. Don't say, oh, he went to madrasa, just to make it sound weird and you think it's something evil. So that's just the propaganda they do with the news. So I want you to just be aware and don't be fooled. That's just my message, first of all. So Sharia is many things. Praying 5 times a day for Muslims is Sharia. Giving zakat, which is 2.5% of your annual asset, that you've had for a year, that has to meet a certain threshold, which is now about 85 grams worth of 24 karat gold. If you've had that value of gold or cash for an entire year, you give 2.5% of it to the poor. There are 8 category of people that you can give to. Poor people, refugees, people are really struggling, and it has to be given out in cash or gold. But that's part of Sharia law. Inheritance laws, that's parts of Sharia. Someone dies, who gets the inheritance? In all circumstances, it's laid out, and that's why I was telling you, like, the guy studied for 9 years and he just calls himself a student. So there's many things to it. So it's a whole governmental system. It's not just a few things. It's complex to apply on a governmental level. Okay. So we said like the marriage laws, divorce, what's going on with that. So all this is Sharia. So if you want to really learn about it, first of all, pick up at least pick up a Quran and start reading it, because there is a lot of fake memes, especially on Facebook. I see a lot of fake news about Islam. It's just all lies. I've seen all of them. It's all these like little verses. They take literally 3 words out of like a 20-word verse, and you're like, oh, kill them wherever you find them. Oh, really? What about the verse right next to it says, if they ask you for peace, provide peace for them and escort them to safety. Not only give them peace, no, escort them to safety during war. All these like fighting verses in the Quran. It's in a war context, and it was usually we were outnumbers back in the time of the Prophet. Like we were like 300 fighting 1,000, 3,000 fighting 10,000. See, it was always like that. So it was always like really defensive wars in the beginning of Islam. We definitely had conquest, but you cannot kill civilian. You cannot kill any non-combatants in Islam. You cannot kill women, children. You cannot destroy buildings. You cannot, destroy churches. That's why the oldest churches and synagogues in the world, they're in Islamic countries. So they're not going to tell you that. They're in Muslim countries. Like Egypt, when the Muslims came to Egypt, we actually saved the Christians, the Coptic Christians, the Orthodox, from the Roman Orthodox Christians, because they were killing them. They were persecuting them. They killed in my city, Alexandria, Egypt. They killed 30,000 Christians. The Romans killed 30,000 Coptic Christians in the city of Alexandria in one day. Okay, so actually Islam came and we took over Egypt with no bloodshed. So that, and I mean, the problem is the media controls like history, and of course in the US you don't learn anything about Islamic history, which is it's unfair, because it's the last 1,400 years. We're not talking about thousands and thousands of years. We're literally here. We're not extinct. We're still living. We're 2 billion, literally quarter of the population of the earth are Muslims, and you don't know our history, and it's really unfortunate, because it's a great history. we added a lot to the science industry, you know, all, like the algorithm. The reason that you're probably watching this because of the algorithms, and the person who you know, invented algorithms and, you know, figured it out, was, his name is Al-Khwarizmi, comes from his name, Al-Khwarizmi, algorithms. So, you know, so many things. The father of medicine was Muslim. Person who found coffee, you know, was a Muslim. Many things. So educate yourself, read the Quran, read it in context, and you will know. You'll be surprised. The more people attack Islam, the more people actually go and read it, and the more people become Muslims. It's the fastest growing religion for that reason. The more you attack it, the more it spreads out, the more people will learn it is the truth. It is the truth from God. It's been preserved. It's the only scripture. It is the truth. Just don't be fooled. Be educated. And thank you for listening this far. If you watched this far, you're awesome. Thank you, and have a good day.